Hello and welcome. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Dan Candido with Interfacing Technologies, and I'll be your moderator today. Let me first thank you for taking the time to attend today's webinar. Before we begin, a little bit of housekeeping. So if you have any questions, type them into the questions module to the right of your screen, or you'll see it in the GoToWebinar control panel. If you miss something, well, you're going to receive an email in about 24 hours after the webinar. That includes a link to the webinar, a link to today's slide deck, and some contact information to view and share. A look at today, our agenda, reasons you need a digital integrated management platform, best practices to implement your digital management integration solution, success stories we're going to hear from retail and how they will apply to your industry. We'll also have an interfacing live demo featuring our own Mirko Thomas. After that, there'll be a Q&A. And don't forget, you can ask your questions anytime during the webinar, and we can discuss them later on. Right now would be a good time to ask Mirko to give us a brief background regarding interfacing.
Well, thank you, Dan. Nice to meet you, everyone, in this webinar. Glad that you had the time to join. Yeah, some quick facts about interfacing. So our corporate headquarters are in Montreal, in Canada, but we have a true presence around the globe with offices in Asia, in Europe, in Australia, and in North America. We are on the market since more than 25 years, really being specialized on solution for process management, and we are really from day one. Really, we have been industry agnostic. So it means that today we are still counting, but I guess today we are serving more than 19 different industries with 1 million users on our platform and more than 300 clients. What is really unique about interfacing is our digital integration management platform has advanced modeling, analytics, and visualization capabilities. And I'm going to show you some of them later on in this webinar. And we will touch on different aspects of the platform, among them how to go from non-digital to digital. What does that mean? So I will give you a specific use case about that. And also integrated. So what does integration mean? What could it mean for you? What will be the benefits for you? So that are some topics that we're going to touch on. And back to you, Dan.
Thank you very much, Mirko. Today, our featured speaker in this webinar is Monique Legault, Executive Director of Retail Heart Consulting. Prior to building her own successful business in the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, Monique's unique background in information technology, project management, operational research has led her to prominence in the design and implementation of business processes with a specialization in retail and hotel logistics. In 2011, Monique created Retail Heart Consulting to continue her success in business consulting with an emphasis on IT solutions implementation. Her company has provided clients and stakeholders across the Middle East, Africa, the UK, Europe, and Asia with business advice and technology solutions, customized to their specific business domains. Here to give us a bit of insight into her world is Monique Legault. Welcome, Monique.
Thank you, Dan, for the introduction. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending the webinar. Retail Heart Consulting is a Middle East-based company. We have been working in the region for over 15 years. We have a very good knowledge of the market and culture. We have reference with major retailers, also retail experience. We work where the business brings us, as long as it is within our domain of expertise. Okay. We also have established a strong network and strategic partnership to address the retail market. We don't pretend to know everything and be able to do everything, but we sure do know where to find the right resources and the right partnership to succeed. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. Today we will focus on interfacing company partnership and the digital integrated management platform. Next slide. Okay. Mirko has briefly spoken about interfacing offering. What I would like to talk about is why did we decide to partner with interfacing? Well, what we were looking for and what our client were looking for is solution which could be on-premise or SaaS model. Some of our clients are more likes to better works with capex instead of opex. That means they want to do capital expenditure and investment instead of operating expenditure. That means they want to own their own infrastructure and software and solution. So that's why they will rather go with on-premise instead of a SaaS or cloud solution. The scalability, you will see it during the demo, but you could start small. You could start by one business unit and grow to other business unit, to the whole holding companies if you want. So there's no limit on the solution. So when you need to link all your operation together. Proven track record, as Mirko also briefly mentioned, it is reference and been there for 25 years and still going strong. Okay. The time to market. You will see also during the live demo that the platform is very easy to use. Okay, it does not require a lengthy training. Okay, and also it was also mentioned it's very easy to convert your current referential into a digital platform. It doesn't matter which format. Could be a document, could be visual, Excel sheet. So that means you don't need to redo everything. You just take what you have, import it and incorporate it into the platform and start from there. And of course, it's always cost is always an element in the decision when you look to buy a solution or a software. Next slide, please. Okay. So if we concentrate on business process reengineering, based on the business process reengineering cycle, what we have developed what we call a business process map, and usually we do it for a business unit. Once we go into a project, the first thing customer will say, okay, I need to take care of my retail organization, or I need to take care about my distribution organization, or I need to take care about my central kitchen or central position unit. So in that case, we do a map for a specific unit. But that doesn't mean if I produce a business process map for the central kitchen unit and one for the retailers, that we cannot have the same processes. For example, if you take procure to pay processes, it's almost the same. What would change is maybe the role, because the organization may not be the same, and maybe you have different business rules or regulation based on the type of product. You know, ingredients are more sensible than when you sell a TV, for example. Okay. So the best practice in the framework are used to challenge the business when we start a project, when we need to do as is to be analysis. Okay, so we found that our clients are in different state when you go into when we kick off a project. Some are very formalized, but it's on paper and they say it's difficult to manage. So we want to convert that into a digital platform to have more flexibility, to go faster and be able to better monitor as well and control the risk as well. Some will have something or not something, and some people will have it in their head. Okay, so we have business process, but we don't write them down because we've been doing that way for 20 years and it works and it will always work tomorrow. So for those, but we still always need to do an as-is analysis compared to where they want to go, the to be, because in the middle is your change management. You need to understand which process will need to be redesigned and deploy or redeploy. And of course, you need the training and the change management goes with it to succeed that the new process will work. Next slide, please. So you see here a few renowned logos from the GCC region and around. They could be retailers or wholesalers or distributors. And we do a variety of services. As we say, we concentrate on two things, business consulting and IT implementation. So we could be doing software implementation, we could be doing business process reengineering, we could be doing organization review, reorganization of companies or business unit. We do training, we do coaching, we do audit. So it could be a sales training for like a distributor sales team. It could be a training for the sales team to, you know, how to sell a promotion system, for example, and so on and so on. Next slide, please. So every business needs a digital business platform to facilitate easier end-to-end processes by offering increased flexibility and delivering improvised client experience. So how do business benefit from a digital integrated management platform? Well, there's a few things. The performance, for example, streamlined procedure and continual improvement can help to push your business with better quality, improve health and safety, and increase your productivity. Speed and cost effectiveness. Integrated management, which shares tasks and processes, means the cost and time needed to implement and maintain your system could be reduced. Consistency. Integrating your business systems strip away complexity. With aligned system and shared processes, you can make your procedure more logical and coherent. It will make common business goals stand out and give your business clearer, more defined objective for success. Accountability. When you implement a digital integrated management platform and establish cohesive objectives, processes, and resources, with the alignment of the system, you will improve in accountability. Facilitating decision-making. Eliminating redundancy and creating consistency within the organization allows for a more complete view of the functional needs and performance. This integrated approach also allows the organization to analyze functional and department barriers and therefore improve communication and decision-making. Our digital integrated platform built. There's a few steps. First one is awareness and training. A digital transformation must start from the top. We need to have the buy-in from the top management. So promote awareness organization-wide about the various management systems and the standards to which it complies and the one that will be integrated. Conduct separate information and training session for the top management, middle management, and junior level management. Policy and objective. Develop an integration quality, health and safety, and information security policy. Develop relevant organizational objectives for the vision, mission, goal, and strategic direction. Work with the top management on policy development. Internal gap analysis. Identify the degree of compliance of the existing management system against the requirement of the standard under consideration. Where we are, where we want to go. Understand all the operation throughout the organization and develop a process map for all activities. Compare the existing operation to requirement of the standard that will be integrated. Documentation and process design. So document the process for the requirement of the relevant standard. Document as per where you want to go. Write and implement functional procedure, work instruction, system procedure, and associated form when needed. Documentation and process implementation. Implement the processes and document across the organization so that all department and activities are covered. Internal audit. Conduct a robust internal audit. Train internal auditors on how to perform an internal audit on the organization that covers all department and operation. We are used to do audit by what we call silos, by department. I audit finance department, I audit sales department. We have to go horizontal. Issue collective actions for improvements in each of the audited department in order to bridge gaps between existing processes and requirement of the standards. This will ensure the effectiveness of the digital integration management platform. Organize a management system review meeting. Implement a formal meeting for top management to review the various business critical aspects of the organization that are relevant to the standard being integrated. Review the policy, strategic direction of the organization, objective, both the setting of objective and objective has been met in your current setup. The results of internal audit, the results of process performance, complaint, feedback, legal compliance, result of risk assessment and incident. Develop an action plan to correct any non-conformance to the standard. Next slide, please. Why are digital integrated management platform important? With an integrated management platform, your system works together, with each function aligned behind a single goal, improving the performance of the entire organization. Instead of silos, you have a coordinated effort which is greater than the sum of the parts, and it's not only more efficient, but it's more effective. An integrated system provides a clear, uniform image of your entire organization, how they impact each other, and the associated risk. Efficiency is gained from less duplication, and it becomes easier to adopt new strategy in the future. Next slide. The reason why companies invest in integrated management platform. Integrated management platform are being increasingly used in organizations as they allow a global management of the company through the integration of different departments and source of information. This system consists of a set of interconnected parts to produce results, transforming a strategy into operation. This system seeks a continuous improvement of all organization process in order to maximize performance, reducing costs and increasing profit. Operating efficiency increase after the implementation of an integrated management system, so the company will have more opportunities to focus on strategic objectives and to develop innovation to stand out from the competition. The productivity of employees increase and the quality of service provided as well, so the profit will be greater in the short term. There is also a lower probability of error, so the long term, the cost will also be lower. Better management of human resources. Possibility, many of your company employees perform daily tasks that can be automated. Many employees perform day-to-day administrative tasks that don't have value to the company. In doing this, it is common for employees to feel unmotivated. Integrated management systems allow people to perform more strategic and relevant tasks, which enhance their work and improve their performance. Improvement of all processes. A company that uses an integrated management system can standardize processes, eliminate manual processes, and shorten the execution time of tasks. In the end, the advantage will be global and the company will achieve better results. Next slide, please. You could see here a screen capture of a few information from that you will also see in the live demo. So you have a graphical representation of a business process. I could see on the right corner the list of my pending tasks, and I could see in the bottom a customized dashboard or KPIs. Next slide, please. What is the best practice to implement a digital management integration system? To succeed, the whole of the business needs to be involved. It requires redesign, then deployment of business model, activities, processes, and competency to fully leverage the opportunity that digital technology can offer. It reflects how siloed many organizations have become over the last 20 years, pointing out the barriers to change inherent from all business models. The silos include processes, technology, data, culture, strategy, structure, and managerial mindset. With digital transformation, an organization with 3 or 4 such silos is seriously handicapped from the start. So make your strategic process more dynamic. Lay out clear priorities. Invest early and aggressively in talent, especially at senior executive level, and redefine how measure success and empower people. Digital transformations are more likely to be effective when companies give people clear roles and responsibility and put an owner in charge of each transformation initiative. Next slide, please. Digital transformation is not only about technology. Figure out your business strategy. Digital transformation should be guided by the broader business strategy. After concrete goals are established, then a company will decide on the digital management integration platform. Bring Silicon Valley startup culture inside. Silicon Valley startups are known for their agile decision-making, rapid prototyping, and flat structure. The process of digital transformation is inherently uncertain. Change will be named temporarily and then adjusted. Decision needs to be made quickly. Groups from all over the organization needs to get involved. As a result, traditional hierarchies get in the way. It is best to adopt a flat organizational structure that is kept somewhat separate from the rest of the organization. Next slide, please. Leverage our expertise and your expertise, your inside expertise. Organizations that seek transformation frequently bring an army of outside consultants who tend to apply a one-size-fits-all solution to the name of say its best practice. Our approach to transforming organization is to rely instead on insiders, staff, who have intimate knowledge about what worked and what doesn't, and in their daily operation, and challenge them. Recognize employees' fear of being replaced. When employees perceive that digital transformation could threaten their job, they resist the changes. It is critical for leaders to recognize those fears and to emphasize on the digital transformation process is an opportunity for employees to upgrade their expertise to suit the marketplace of the future. Next slide, please. There are several good reasons why integration of management system is beneficial for your organization. Harmonize and optimize your practice. Eliminate conflicting responsibilities and relationship. Balance conflicting objectives. Reduce duplication of effort and therefore costs. Reduce risk and increase profitability. Turn the focus into overall business goal. Create consistency. Improve internal and external communication. Facilitate trainings and awareness. Next slide, please. So a few success stories from retail and in the GCC and around the region. So a major GCC master franchisor having hundreds of brands and thousands of outlets. Initial scope of work was we were kind of calling as a firefighter, implement a supply chain and store execution solution for their first food retail franchise across 3 countries, and we were giving 4 months to do it. So the business outcome was the project was delivered on time and within budget. The store were opening as scheduled. The drawback is the stock was out of control. Okay, the warehouse in the store, existing standard operation procedure were not adapted to food retail. A lot of stock loss, transformation, expiring product, and so on. So what was happening is at every period then, there was what we say same old song. The stock fluctuation was way above the target KPIs, and every month was a new story. Okay, from month to month, the story will not match. So we say, oh, I have surplus because I forgot to register some delivery. Oh, this month I have loss because I forgot to register some transfer, or I forgot to register some wastage. Okay. So that led to a second project. Next slide, please. Where we were called in to set up the business process for the food retail business unit. So we work for 3 months. We work with the central purchasing team, supply chain, logistics, distribution, finance, HR, learning and development, and store operation to develop a set of business processes dedicated to the food retail business unit. Business process were approved by head of department of process owner. We develop also the process audit control procedure, so that they control not only one task, one person, but they control, as I mentioned before, horizontal audit to all the departments within which are involved in one process. We did a knowledge transfer to learning and development and internal audit teams, and we conduct the first audit 6 months after the implementation. We call it a blank audit. That means we conduct the audit, but the report was not published. That gave them a chance to adjust if needed. So the objective was no more end of month story unless it's a good one. Okay. That's also to prevent the wrongdoing. Okay, because when you don't control people, you know, everybody's human. When you know you don't control, there's a way to go around. People will try to go around. So we work with the head of the business unit, the head of department, and process owners, and we start from the beginning of the chain. So we start from product sourcing until the end of the chain, which is the sales or the customer return in some cases. We also implement a responsibility matrix. We also implement a level of authority, LOA, for all the processes where physical stock was involved. Okay, and as well, so sourcing new product. Okay, so and we developed the business processes, detailed SOPs, and work instruction for junior level manager. We developed the internal audit control procedure, not only to have a checklist and say, have you done it? Was it done right? And was the full process done right with all the actors within the process? And we also see that once you do it for one business unit, we have a say in French, it says, has a effet boule de neige, snowball effect. So that means it rolls. Once one business unit has it, the second business unit say, oh, I want the same. And then another business unit say, I want the same, or another department says, I want the same. So once you start, you kind of keep on going because you want to do the whole organization. Next slide, please. A major investor launching a multi-format food retail brand. So the scope of work was bring your business expertise to set up the organization, processes and start out operating procedure, bring your IT expertise to implement supply chain, logistic and distribution, warehouse management, and store execution solution. Business outcome, we kick off the project in September 2015, and the first hypermarket was opened in April 2016. We delivered and validated organization chart, job description, business process, and standard operation procedure. IT solutions were implemented. We did a knowledge transfer to learning and development and IT support team. In the past 5 years, they have opened 100 stores and they keep on going. So we work with the managing director and HR director to set up the initial scope because there was only two members in the company when we kick off the project. So we work to set up the organization chart, the job profile, the staff count, and so on. Based on their business plan, business strategy, and objective, we kind of understand the store format, the forecast, the sales target, number of store, goods flows, country and law regulation. So to develop the process map for all departments, for all activities. It's not only related to the store or to the head office, it's also related, for example, they open 100 stores. Some are location that they have leased, some are property that they have built, some are malls, some are standalone. So the project team also has a set of business operation. The HR department has a set of business process. Same thing for marketing and so on. So all department has a set of business processes and standard operation procedure, which is validated again by the head of department of the business owner. So IT implementation was done on validated business process and business rules. Okay. So once everybody agreed that's the way it's going to work, that's how it goes into the software solution. We conduct the first training and we hand over to the learning and development and IT support team afterward. We remain on site for 6 months for knowledge transfer and process adjustment when required. Next slide, please. A major retailer pre-pandemic questioned why we're mapping their business processes. What about home delivery business process? Pre-pandemic answer, no need. Our customer always come to the store. They will never buy online. On March 16, 2020, a WhatsApp message. We need a business process for e-commerce home delivery at the earliest because, you know, we're shut down. So what was the approach? We knew their current organization. We knew their existing supply chain, logistic, distribution, and store operation process with their constraint. So what we did is we localized an existing business process based on best practice and already implemented for other clients. Business process to be standard operation procedure, work instruction were delivered 3 hours after receiving the request. A virtual meeting was set up to validate the process with head of the concerned department. And we hand over to BPM department, learning and development, to train and implement the business process. There's no way we could have achieved that without having a predefined framework and without having a digital integration management platform. So you will see more during the live demo, which is coming right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Monique. This is Mirko speaking again, and I'm now gonna start with the live demo. All right, so first of all, I would like to follow up on some concepts that Monique has mentioned in her speech. So one of them is that she is using a process framework, which she has developed as a, let's say, with learning lessons learned and best practices over time. And this framework, you see it here. So it's called the process classification framework for retail, and it's really detailed. So it means it will help you a lot to structure your process landscape and to kind of organize your business. And if you quickly read through the top level categories of processes, then you will also notice that this is really a concept which is way improved over the typical core process, support process concept that some of you might know. And let me just, I'm clicking here a little bit so you see that when I drill down into detail, so it goes on a really detailed level. And the good news for you is that we have these kind of process frameworks for many industries like telecoms, banking, finance, manufacturing, and so on. So if you're interested in this and want to learn more about it, please contact us, and we would be happy to introduce you to this concept and give you more detail. Right. Another interesting topic that Monique has already raised in her success story is that if you remember, in one of our projects, the SOPs hadn't been adapted to the required use cases, and that developed into a major drawback for her program. So SOPs, and that usually means SOP documents. Let me show you. So this is a typical example, a quality audit or SOP. Actually, it's a real life example that is that we use here for today's webinar, and you have seen this before. So these SOPs, they are static documents. So it means they have been created for a specific purpose, and they stay this way for this specific purpose. So the key topic of today's webinar is what a digital integrated management platform can do for you. And that is now something that I'm going to show to you. So let's say if we want to go digital, to move away from these static documents and establish a digital solution, which is a document-free system. How do we get there? And for this purpose, what I will do now is to show you the latest technology that interfacing is providing to its clients. It's what we call the SOP parser. So it means I will now upload the same document. It was the audit SOP. I will upload it here, and I'm just showing you the concept. I won't show you, let's say, the whole creation process. So here we go again. So it's the same document. And what we do now is we do in the background, the system does some magic for you. We're using, among others, we are using so-called NLP algorithms, natural language processing. By the way, I switch on my camera, so so they help you to break down static documents in reusable digital objects. So when I click here on auto tagging, the algorithm starts off with identifying the roles in the document. So you see it has automatically identified the roles like lead auditor, head auditor, and audit head, and so on. And it goes on and on with the other elements, like with the process, with the task, with the involved documents, and so on. So it really does a job for you to break down this static document into digital objects. And what it means, first of all, let me show you what it means when the process has been implemented. It looks like this in the swim lane view. But before we take a closer look at that, let me show you one slide, and I have to get this out of the way. So one slide, and this one. So it means that we have technologies, and the parser is not the only one, by the way. So we have many ways how we can import or bring all your documents and your static your static content, to bring that into one digital repository. And when I talk about digital objects, that means like policies, laws, rules, regulations, processes, documents, glossaries, systems, master data, strategies, objectives, capabilities, roles, responsibilities, risk controls, indicators, and so on. And once everything is inside the repository, then it enables many things for you, and I will show you some of these things in a moment. So everything is in a central repository, can be reused. You can create multi-language language versions from it. You can manage variances. You can do impact analysis and so on. So that is it's really this to take this step to go digital is it's it's a game changer. It will be a game changer for your business. So let me show you some specific examples. So this is the SOP that we have imported with our parser. So audit assignment, next step is audit scheduling, just as here. So we have here audit assignment, audit scheduling, and so on. So just want to show you that this is the real import of this SOP. And now the first use case that I would like to show you is, and I'm maximizing the view here, is now we have this swim lane view. So it means you see here these are the roles. So each swim lane stands for a role, and you can watch how or analyze how this process flows through the swim lanes. Now let's say, for example, so this is a role-based view. Now let's say you are from your IT department, and instead of roles, you're much more interested in your systems, in a system-based view. So let me create that for you. So I'm just doing a few clicks, and now if you notice here, now we have different applications, and this time you see how the same process flows through your systems landscape. And what you have to be aware of now is really a key concept is what you see here is not a diagram, not a drawing like something static, but this is a view that is generated live from the digital objects in our repository and how they are associated with each other. So what it means is that, for example, let's say this sub-process here, it has a predecessor task, which is audit assignment, and a successor task, so they are associated with each other. The same way they are associated with roles and responsibilities, or they are associated with assets, with systems. That's the view that we see here, and so on. Or let me create a few other views for you. So for example, if you would prefer, instead of swim lanes, to have the good old graph view, meaning like a flat view from left to right with the sequence of tasks. So no big deal to create that. Or let's say you are in risk. You want to have a kind of a more risk-based view. So here we go. We can highlight the high-risk path for you. So in this case, it's the red task or sub-process. In this case, they make up the high-risk path. Or I can highlight the critical path, and so on. This time it's highlighted in blue. So I think you get my point. So that is one of the key use cases and of the huge benefits that you can create views as they are required from your user, and based really again on our digital repository and of the associations between the different objects in this repository. Let me give you a few more examples, which are, at least in my point of view, which are also quite impressive. Let me first switch off the critical path again. So for example, so we have here quite a few sub-processes which are part of this process. And usually what you would do is you would just, if you want to see the details of this sub-process, you would kind of bring up the corresponding document. Well, this is indeed a quite small process. So let's probably look for a better example, probably this one. Now it's also only one task, but it doesn't matter. What I would like to show you, it's because it's the asset-based view. I forgot to switch that off. So it's a live demo, so these things can happen. So you see, I'm still showing the asset view, but I want the role view. So let's give it another try. So if I click here, it's still the same. Yeah, great. Just a moment. Almost there, going back. Okay, Let's stay cool. All right. So what I would like to show you is what I actually wanted to show you is that you can create. Sometimes you don't want to get forwarded or like bring up the view of the sub process, but you would rather like a real end-to-end view. So what I mean is, when I click here, when I click there, you see that the sub-processes get embedded in the parent process. So again, yet another way how to create an output that is relevant for you. And what is also cool is now when we, there is the concept of interconnected or interlinked processes. So it means that this process is the predecessor to another process. And probably you've noticed it's indicated here. There's this little chain icon, which indicates to me that this is interconnected with another process. And here the same again. So I can easily create an end-to-end view. So here's my audit quality audit process, and here is the successing process. So again, this is now with 2 processes, but I could do the same exercise with 10 processes or whatever you just need. A few more views, again, based on the same data from the same repository. So some users, they prefer, instead of graphic views, they really prefer text-based views. And again, it's one click, and here we go. So here I don't go into the details, but here is my quality audit process. So everything here, the description, some attributes, the sub-processes, a SIPOC analysis, versioning, impacts, roles and responsibilities. So it's all there in a text-based view. And let's say, talking about text-based views, so it could be, because I'm showing you the benefits of going document-free. But now you could be in a situation where an auditor or whoever else insists, I still want a printed good old SOP document. Well, no problem. You don't have to maintain them anymore, which is an incredible, let's be honest, to maintain all these static documents is an incredible amount of work. So what the system does for you is it generates an SOP on the fly. So let me do that for this specific process. So I click here. I can select a template. You will see at the moment how the template looks like, and you can define. They are word-based, so it's easy for you to adapt these templates to your branding, to the way how your SOPs usually look like, and so on. So it's easy to customize them. Here we go. It has already been generated. So let's open it and take a look at it. And here we go. So on the fly, we have generated an SOP document. And again, the content and the look and feel of it, you can easily customize it to your own needs. So I'm going a little bit quicker. Here's the RHC matrix, the process graph, and so on and so on. So again, another use case or another way to for output formats. I have to look at the clock a little bit, so I'm speeding up. So this is one use case that shows you the benefit of going digital, because we are talking about digital integration management, right? So let me give you one more quick example what the benefit of going digital is. So again, I go back to what Monique has mentioned about these SOPs, which had not been adapted in her program to cater for food retail. So let's say we still have the same process here. So let's say this is your global process, and now you have to create a version of it which fits the needs of which fits some, let's say, some local requirements. Let's call it like this. So local does not necessarily only mean geographical. So it could mean localization by division, by office, by plant, by product, by service, whatever, by language, whatever, let's say, whatever variations you need, you can easily manage them in such a digital system. So here in this case, I have already prepared one. So this is my source process, and I have already prepared a variation for Japan. I'm making this up now. And so this is how it looks like for Japan. Well, on first sight, looks quite similar, right? So, but what's the difference now? And there we have this compare feature. And it quickly, here is the original global process, and here is the process for Japan. And what we see is there is one task now, which has a green frame around it, and that means it has been added as compared to the original version. And it's really easy to create such localizations. Let's the point is, I don't have time anymore to show it to you how to prepare it. But what is important here for you to understand is this global process and the Japan process, they are one and the same process. You don't have to manage two processes and thereby doubling the effort. You just manage one process and you manage the local variations of it, if you know what I mean. So that's a huge difference. And obviously there is for complex organizations, there's a huge business case behind that. And one more. So we have been talking about going digital and the benefits of going digital. I've been showing you a few use cases. So now for the last 2 minutes, let's quickly talk about integration or integrated management platform. So what could integrated mean for you? So first of all, what you probably know is that our solution is quite unique in the level of integration. In fact, it is I can say that proudly, it is the most integrated solution currently on the market. So it's what is integrated? So it is, of course, what we have been looking at here all the time. It's the business process management aspect. It's also quality management, risk management, regulatory and compliance management, document and record management, automation, no-code automation or low-code automation, reporting, BI, analysis, and so on. We don't have time to show this all to you today, but let me show you, let's say, one really cool, let's say, showcase or use case for integration. Some of you might already have been using automated processes or a platform which is about low-code automation. So here we have such a platform. That's our out-of-the-box EQMS system. And let's say there is, for example, here we have an app. We call them apps, an automated workflow, which has to do with reporting an incident. Now, so typically the way it works is that you have such an e-form like this. You start to fill it in and so on. And then you submit after you have filled in the form, you submit it, and then somebody gets a task assigned. In this case, I guess it would be the quality manager. Yes, indeed, who would then have a new task to review the incident and so on. Then review and approve the action list. So I'm just quickly showing this to you. So I approve the action to mitigate the incident and so on and so on. Now, this is something that you have probably seen before. Also, we can quickly show this is our incident management process from EPC, and we see exactly here where we are in this specific case. So the first task has been completed, and we at the moment the status is that we are in the queue for the second task. By the way, you have different ways. So you have also here kind of a table format for the case and so on. But what I would really like to show you is, I bring up this process now. It's the incident management process. It's here. And now, so this is the process diagram, the process graph for our incident management process. And at the moment, we are the only ones on the market who can make processes come alive. So what I mean is, I can instead of working in a portal or whatever, I can inside of the process, I can bring up the same form that we have just seen. So it's integrated into your process diagram. It's the same form. I can bring it up. I can submit the case, and then it takes its way through the process. So it's really the same. And the very last aspect that I would like to show you, if you remember, here we have been able to look at the status on a per case base for the incidents. And here we can quickly bring in the overall status of our incident management. So I switch on performance colors here. And this is really live. This is live KPI. So it shows me that it's red. So that means that there is a queue for incidents to be reviewed and so on. And probably here, for example, we are green. So it means at the moment nothing to sign off. So that's the overall situation. All right, so I know I've been talking quickly, I've been clicking quickly. So really I wanted to show you in this webinar as much as possible on use cases, on going digital and what integrated means. I hope I have sparked some curiosity with you, and please feel free to follow up with us, and we would be more than happy to go into more detail with you and to give you some further insights into this. So with that closing statement, back to you, Dan.
Well, thank you, Mirko, for that great presentation. We now have some time for Monique and Mirko to answer some of the questions you've submitted during the session. I know you've received a lot of information today, and we do have a few questions for our panel of experts. Let's see. How long would an average implementation take? How about Monique?
Yeah, I would say between 3 to 6 months. Why do I say that? Because we do take a very pragmatic approach. Okay, so based on the requirement, based on the organization, based on the, let's say, one business unit who want to start, then we work with that team. We go from A to Z. I mean, we do the full process, go to implementation, and it's kind of a pilot for other business unit or the department or other companies within a holding, for example. So again, why can we can do that fast? First of all, as we mentioned, is we work on a pre-existing framework, which has been used and reused in retail, and it's working fine. We work with tools. We work with a platform. We don't do everything from paper and then validate and then come back and versioning and everything. All that is done within the platform. So with the help of the framework and the integrated management platform, we're able to, within 3 to 6 months, to say, you have a few business units which are up and running. Once it's up and running, after that is the time for, let's say, training, change management. That has to go from the time that you say everything is validated, okay, then we start that process. And usually once we're ready to go, clients are say, okay, we want to go. We just not only want to do it and have it on the system, we want to go, we want to apply, we want to implement it. So that's kind of going also fast, because you've seen in the tools for your business process team, is very easy to use. As I say, no lengthy training, okay? And everything is there. So if you put your standard operation procedure, if you put your work instruction, all the forms, even if you have to do remote training, it's very easy to generate the document and train the people. So for me, I would say it's 3 to 6 months, depending on the scope of work.
Great to hear. We have just a little bit of time for one more question. This is a good one too. Are compliance and bylaws governance something you advise on? Is there something specific regarding certification that we need to know about? For either of you.
Mirko, want to take?
Well, let's say from a technology end, really interfacing is one of the leading platforms for regulatory compliance. And to give you one idea, it is like when this end-to-end process, let's say you are managing a compliance on, you are managing a regulation on a platform, and you receive a regulatory change. So really to implement that change is usually a nightmare. It's an incredibly complex task, you know, from importing the new text to to assign it, to do a triage, to understand, what will be the impact of this change? Do we want to do we want to implement it? So is there a business case for us to then automatically raise the change request and so on to implement it? For this whole end-to-end chain, we have fully automated workflows which help you along the way. So from a technology point of view, there is clearly a massive support that a platform like ours can provide to you. From a more, let's say, regulatory specific point of view for retail, probably Monique, you would better answer.
Yeah. So what we take into account when we start a project is again for each country and also type of business, we look at I would say the country bylaws and the regulation, and we make sure that this is part of the rules and risk that is set in the business process map. Okay. When I was talking about the different step to implement your business process within the business management platform, there's a few more steps if you want to go to a full certification of your automation of your business process. So after we've done the last step, which was I would say the top management meeting, you could do again an audit, a new action plan, and to comply. Let's say if you want to go for ISO certification, to comply to ISO. And then once you're almost sure that this is okay, then you could call in a third-party partner to third-party company to do the certification, and then you could get a certification for your processes, ISO certification for your processes. Before we used to do that on paper. Now you could do it within the platform. You don't need to provide 22 different documents to get certified on a business process.
Okay, I realize that we're at the top of the hour, but we actually do have one more question. Can the EPC platform integrate with transactional systems, i.e. SAP, and sync vice versa to ensure your business process design and configuration in your systems don't drift and stay in sync?
Well, yeah, good question. So the answer is clearly yes. Our application is totally built on top of our own REST API. So it means it is open towards, let's say, any kind of integration. So as integrations with like SAP or Salesforce or Jira or whatever, that is standard for us, and so it's absolutely possible. Also on a transactional level. So basically, we tap into the database and can pull or write data as required. So the answer is yes.
Thank you very much. Just to let everybody know, we are out of time, and I think we'll end it right about here. Once again, I want to thank Monique Legault for her excellent presentation. It was very interesting. And I'd like to mention that Interfacing offers a digital twin software solution that documents, analyzes, improves, digitizes, and monitors your business processes. So to close out, thank you for attending. Soon after this webinar, you will receive a brief survey and an email where you can download and share today's presentation and webinar. You also have our contact information, so I urge you to reach out to Retail Heart, reach out to Interfacing about any questions regarding your process-based initiatives. Thank you for attending the webinar. Have a good morning, a good day, and a good evening. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye.